Another hostile environment, of course, Florida. We got Florida versus Georgia, classic rivalry game. And believe it or not, last regular season loss for Georgia was in 2020 versus Florida. It's looking like Billy Napier's not necessarily in the hot seat, but a lot of people are unhappy with what's going on. And this could be his opportunity to flip the script. What do you think about Florida's chances against Georgia? How's that going to go?
I'm a little biased, man, because I've been following Billy Napier since he was at Alabama, and when he left Alabama and went to Arizona State, and then he got hired at UL, and just watching him, how he built that UL program and the relationships he built and just who he is as a person and how he goes about coaching these guys. I think that Billy Napier is on the right track, man, to get that Florida team and that Florida program where it needs to be. Georgia struggled with, what was it?
Auburn.
They struggled with somebody else too. I think they had like 2 games where they struggled early on. I think it might have been South Carolina. That's what it was, South Carolina. So South Carolina and Auburn gave Georgia all they can handle. I mean, you would have thought that Auburn was a top team in the country the way they looked. You would have thought South Carolina was a top team in the country the way they looked playing against Georgia. So, I would like to think that Florida is better than both of those teams. And, Florida beat South Carolina at their place before their bye week. I like the way Mertz is playing for Florida. He's been looking really, really good since the beginning of the season. The transfer from Wisconsin. So if he has a good game and doesn't turn the ball over, I think that Florida could possibly pull off an upset here.
Yeah, and they pulled off the upset at home when Tennessee came by, and I didn't see Tennessee losing that one at all. So I'm in a tough spot here because Georgia, Florida, like we said, last regular season loss for the Bulldogs is in 2020. If I'm Billy Napier, that's bulletin board material. I'm preaching that all week, guys. We got to go in here, put a little damper on their 3 years in a row being the number 1 team in college football. The only thing that scares me here is that when you're the number 1 team in college football for that long, you're recruiting and you're pulling in all the best transfer portal talent, and the talent comparison is definitely off. However, battle of coaching, home field advantage, there's a lot of things that can be potential X factors in this matchup. I think it'll be pretty close, but more than likely, I think Georgia might squeak out of here with that one. As much as I would love Florida to beat Georgia, I don't know, man.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sold on Carson Beck for Georgia. I'm just not sold on him. He doesn't look like a quarterback that's going to be able to lead this team to a national championship this year. I think he's going to end up costing Georgia at some point. Will it be against Florida? I don't know. Will it be in the SEC championship? Will it be against Ole Miss? I don't know. But I don't believe in him. I think that he's a serviceable quarterback. And I think this Georgia defense isn't dominant like we've seen over the last 4 to 5 years. And with that being said, I just think that Florida is going to come into this game a huge underdog. They're playing at a neutral site in Jacksonville, which is essentially a home game for Florida. I just think that, Mertz will be able to put this team in a position to win. And if they can run the ball with Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne, 2 boot boys, by the way, if they could run the ball with those guys, I think you see Graham Mertz have a 300-yard passing game and possibly put this team on upset alert on Saturday at 2:30.
And big underdog is right. Vegas right now has the spread at 14-5, and Georgia money line is negative 600. Yeah. So look, I would take Florida plus 14-5 on that all day, money line wise. I would rather be safe than sorry, but I definitely do think that if there is a game that Georgia's dropping this season, I would mark my calendars and make it this one. It's a tough environment. It's probably one of their more rough games that they've played here in recent memory.